Hello, my beautiful and magnificent Leo souls. Welcome back to Cosmic Wisdom, your sacred space for illuminating the divine truths written in the stars and whispered into your heart. I want you to gather close now. Find a quiet moment just for you and listen not only with your ears, but with the very core of your radiant being. Because if you have found your way to this message at this exact moment, in the grand cosmic tapestry, I need you to understand with every fiber of your soul that this is no accident. This is a divine appointment, orchestrated by the universe itself. There is a profound stirring in the cosmos, a message that has traveled through light and shadow to find you, the royal heart of the zodiac, right here and right now. Have you been feeling it, my dear Leo? A strange and deeply unsettling chill creeping into your kingdom. A silence that roars louder than any argument ever could. You haven't abdicated your throne, you haven't lowered your magnificent head, and yet you have this profound, unshakable feeling that you are being pushed out of your own spotlight. Not with the clash of swords or the fire of anger, but with something far more insidious, far more cowardly, the carefully calculated and soul-crushing weapon of silence. Someone, perhaps someone very close to you, is attempting to manipulate the very energy of your sacred stage, trying to gently, quietly remove you from the very place you were born to shine. But what they fail to understand, what their spirit shrouded in shadow cannot possibly comprehend, is the immense, fiery, cosmic protection of the sun itself that surrounds you. Today, we are going to pull back the velvet curtain of illusion and illuminate the truth that has been hiding in the wings. In this sacred journey together, we will uncover exactly who is behind this silent coup, this attempt to dim your brilliant light. And more importantly, we will explore why your magnificent presence, your effortless charisma, your very essence of being unsettles them down to the very marrow of their bones. If this is already resonating deep within your lion heart, if you feel a flicker of recognition in your soul, I want you to make a sacred declaration with me. Go to the comments below and affirm your divine right to rule your own life by typing, "I am the light, and I will not be dimmed." Consider this a powerful seal upon your intention, a message sent directly to the cosmos. And if you have not yet joined our pride here at Cosmic Wisdom, please press that subscribe button now. We are walking this path of awakening together, and I want to ensure you never miss these essential cosmic truths tailored just for you. Now, shall we begin? My glorious Leo, some goodbyes, my friends, are never spoken aloud. Some departures happen while everyone is still in the room. It's like the moment the orchestra suddenly falls silent in the middle of a grand performance, leaving an unnerving quiet in its wake. It's in the eyes of someone you have shared your warmth with, eyes that still look in your direction but no longer truly see your brilliance. They may stand right before you, they may speak your name, they might even offer a hollow, practiced smile. But you, with your incredible heart-centered perception, you can feel it with a certainty that chills you to the bone. Their soul has already taken a step back, creating a vast chasm of silence between you. And within that deafening silence, within that void, where applause and admiration once lived, you begin to feel yourself being edged out, pushed away from the center of your own stage, inch by painful, invisible inch. Are you finding yourself in a kingdom where your own heart feels like an outsider? Are you physically present in a relationship, a friendship, or a family, but the profound, radiant connection you once commanded has evaporated into thin air? And the most agonizing part is you can't even pinpoint the exact moment the light went out. when there is no final declaration, no honest confrontation, only a growing, calculated distance and a piercing, strategic silence. It creates an ache so deep, it feels as though your very soul is being dethroned without anyone having the courage to announce the rebellion. You're still there sitting on the throne that has always been yours, in the space you illuminated with your own warmth and generosity. But you know, oh you know with every fiber of your magnificent being, that the audience is no longer waiting for you to speak. You have been recast in the role of a ghost, a former monarch who is now somehow expected to quietly fade away into the wings. Not because you've done a single thing wrong, but because your very light, your unwavering truth, and your deep capacity for radiant love makes someone else unable to face the barren darkness within their own soul. Leo, you are a master of the grand stage of life. More than any other sign, you are attuned to the powerful, charismatic shifts in energy that others completely miss. You don't just hear what is spoken, you perceive the unspoken scripts, the hidden motivations, the silent waves of envy hiding behind a fleeting glance or a moment of feigned indifference. And right now, you feel it with an intensity that you can no longer ignore. Someone close to you, someone you have trusted with the keys to your kingdom, is actively trying to push you out of your own reign. Not with overt aggression. Oh no, they are not brave enough for that. They are doing it with a cold, calculated indifference that cuts deeper than any blade. Not with grand theatrical actions, but with small, deliberate omissions that are silently, strategically designed to make you feel irrelevant. Perhaps it's an intentional act of forgetting, a celebration of your achievements that they suddenly don't remember, a grand plan they forgot to include you in. Or maybe it's a careless offhand comment, a backhanded compliment designed to make you feel utterly invisible, to make you question the very source of your power and your own value. And because you possess a heart so generous, so willing to see the best in others, you begin to turn your powerful gaze inward. You start to wonder, am I just imagining this? Am I being overly dramatic? Am I overthinking everything? You start to doubt the validity of your own powerful intuition. You might even begin to blame yourself for being too much, too bright, or too proud. But let me tell you this, right now, magnificent Leo and I want you to let this truth sink into the very core of your fiery soul. You are not crazy. Your feelings are not just real. They are your divine superpower. Your heart is your unerring compass, and it is pointing directly at a profound and painful truth. In the sacred spiritual texts from across the world, there is a recurring, honest reminder: we do not always wrestle against flesh and blood, but against unseen forces, against energies that seek to disrupt our divine light and inner peace. The great teacher Buddha once wisely said, "When the mind is shaken by others, your home, meaning your inner world, your kingdom, has already been disturbed." What this person is doing is not just creating a crack in a relationship. They are attempting to dismantle the very spiritual foundation of your sovereignty, the stage where your soul was born to perform its glorious purpose. And if you leave, if you abdicate your throne, not because it is your sovereign choice, but because you were quietly manipulated out through a silent, cowardly campaign of invisibility, then you have lost more than just a room or a relationship. You have allowed someone to steal the foundation your soul once called its kingdom. Do you know why this hurts with such a profound, soul-shaking intensity, dear Leo? It's because you are the very embodiment of radiant, heart-centered connection. You do not love from the surface. That is an impossible concept for you. You love with your entire being, with a generosity that expects nothing in return but loyalty. You create your bonds through shared joy, through grand gestures, through an unwavering and protective presence. When someone begins to silently push you away, you don't just lose their audience. You feel as though you are losing the part of yourself that had once bravely and beautifully illuminated their world. And the most agonizing, the most maddening part of it all is that you feel you can't accuse them of a single treasonous act, because they haven't said a word, have they? They are still polite, still correct on the surface, but their eyes no longer land on you with the warmth of admiration. Their words might say, "Of course you belong here," but their energy, their very soul is screaming, "Please just disappear." And you, my dear Leo, who values loyalty and recognition above all else, you may choose to quietly step back into the shadows. You might even place your own hand on the exit door, believing you are taking the high road, preserving your dignity. But the truth, the deep and powerful cosmic truth, is that you are allowing another to steal your divine right to shine, your right to belong in the sacred spotlight where your soul was always meant to be. Listen to me now. You do not have to retreat simply because someone else cannot handle the sheer magnitude of your inner sun. You do not have to surrender your sacred stage, whether that is a physical home, a deep relationship, or a cherished creative project, just because your authenticity and your radiant heart make them ashamed of their own hollow facade. There is a magnificent lesson in the ancient teachings: when the light within you makes others uncomfortable, that is never, ever your fault. The sun never apologizes to the shadows for its existence. You are meant to stay, not to fight a petty beneath you battle, but to protect the sacred kingdom you have built with your own love, your own creativity, and your unwavering devotion. Think about it for a moment. Who was the one who held the court together when everything was falling apart? Who was the one whose warmth and laughter brought life back into the room? Who was the one who listened to their secrets in the dead of night, becoming a steadfast and royal confidant for them to lean on? Who always gave their energy, their encouragement, their spotlight to others so freely? It was you, Leo. It has always been you. So I ask you, who on this earth or any other has the right to say you no longer belong in the center of the world you helped create? I know you've been silent for a long time. You're afraid that if you finally let out your righteous roar, if you speak your undeniable truth, you will lose what little hollow connection remains. You fear that if you say, "I feel like you are pushing me away," they will simply deny it. Or worse, they will smirk and call you arrogant or overly sensitive. But today, you do not have to remain silent any longer. Your soul has a divine right to speak its truth. You do not need anyone's permission to stay on your throne. You were placed in that spotlight by divine guidance, not by fleeting human approval. And no one, absolutely no one, can push you out unless you choose to believe their silent lies and walk away yourself. Take a deep cleansing breath right now. Inhale power, exhale doubt. Allow these words to settle into the royal chambers of your heart. No one, no matter how close they once were, has the right to strip you of your inner kingdom. They may try to make you feel invisible. They may subtly suggest that your time in the sun is over, but the unshakable truth remains: you are a chosen soul. You belong exactly where the light of destiny has led you, and you do not have to leave. And now, Leo, there is something more I must tell you, and I want you to hold on to this like a sacred golden talisman of protection. When you feel this invisible push, this silent attempt at dethronement, do not be so quick to walk away. Pause, breathe. For behind that calculated silence, there is an entire web of insidious manipulation at play. In our next part, we will dive even deeper into this mystery. Who is truly behind these strange patterns of erasure? Why do they avoid an honest confrontation and instead choose this cowardly path of silent removal? Stay with me, because what is coming next will give you the soul-level confirmation, the divine validation you have been so desperately waiting for. And if this has touched a deep truth within you, I want you to perform a sacred ritual of release in the comments. Tell me, have you ever felt pushed out of the very spotlight you helped to create? Write it down, not as a complaint, but as a sacred act of reclaiming your narrative, of releasing your soul from the bondage of their silence. My dear Leo, some battles don't begin with a loud declaration of war. They begin with the slow-acting poison of intentional forgetting. Some of the deepest betrayals don't come from your sworn enemies. They come from the eyes that once looked at you with such warmth and admiration, but now no longer even stop to truly see you. And some wounds, the deepest wounds, don't bleed on the surface for all to see. They ache with a quiet, relentless throb, deep inside your magnificent heart, as if your very soul is being guided away from the one stage it ever found true glory on. Can you see the pattern now, beautiful soul? No one ever told you to leave. They simply stopped saying your name with love. They simply stopped inviting you to the center of the conversation. They stopped asking about the passions that set your soul on fire. And then one day, the poison began to work its dark magic. You started to ask yourself, am I being a burden? Am I taking up too much space? Am I too much? The very moment you ask that question, their silent plan to remove you from your throne is already in motion. It doesn't begin with harsh words. It begins with a calculated absence. A heartfelt message celebrating their success, which you, in your generosity, sent, is left unanswered for days. A special event where you would have naturally been the center of attention, you were conveniently forgotten and not invited to. It begins with a moment of vulnerability, a rare glimpse into your own struggles that you shared, which was met with a cold, empty, and dismissive silence. And from there, you begin to withdraw, piece by piece, as if your very existence, your glorious, radiant existence, requires their permission. But do not let their quiet, gentle facade fool you for one more second, Leo. Not everything that appears gentle is an act of love, and not every silence is a sign of respect. Sometimes silence is a strategic poison, a weapon wielded by those who utterly lack the courage to face the brilliant, searing, truth-telling light of your soul. Your very presence, your unapologetic shine, makes it impossible for them to continue living their pretense. You, by your very nature, reflect back to them the shadows, the insecurities, and the mediocrity they so desperately refuse to confront within themselves. Your light, your piercing intuition, and your deeply loving heart become a cosmic mirror. And rather than accepting the truth of their own dim reflection, they choose to try and shatter the mirror. There is a powerful warning in ancient scripture that says the greatest enemy of a person is sometimes not outside the house, but within it. And in the Buddhist teachings, a bell of wisdom rings in the darkness. Envy is born from those closest to you. The one who sees the light in you is often the one who has forgotten their own. So please, Leo, pause and listen to this profoundly important truth. You are being pushed away, not because you are wrong, but because you are so undeniably brilliantly right. You are right for loving with your whole soul. You are right for staying loyal for so long. You are right for refusing to remain silent in the face of emotional injustice. And they want you to retreat, not because you are flawed, but because you are a living, breathing reminder that their fragile illusion, their house of cards, is fading by the day. They didn't try to destroy you with fire. They know you were born in it. They tried to destroy you with doubt. They didn't strike you down with cruel words. They struck you down with a chilling, calculated distance. They didn't physically push you out the door. They manipulated you into quietly believing that you no longer belonged on your own stage. This, my dear Leo, is the most dangerous and insidious kind of manipulation. It is making you believe that walking away was your own idea. It is making you feel that you are too sensitive or too intense for wanting the recognition you naturally deserve. It is making you feel like you no longer fit into the world you helped to build, the party you helped to plan, the kingdom you helped to rule. It is making you apologize for simply existing in your own magnificent truth. Awaken, beautiful soul. This is not you. This is a carefully woven plan sewn with invisible thread. It is a veil of shadow that has been draped over your royal awareness, causing you to retreat from the very place you were divinely meant to command. But now it is time to lift that veil. Now is the time to see what was never spoken. And the truth is, you do not have to go anywhere. You do not have to shrink yourself, dim your light, or stay quiet just because someone is manipulating the very air you breathe. You sensed something was off all along, didn't you? That strange coldness in their gaze, a subtle shift in their energy you couldn't quite name, a series of convenient accidents and oversights that kept happening again and again. And you wondered, am I just being paranoid? No, you are not paranoid. You simply feel the truth before it dares to become reality. You are reading the script behind their pre-written, hollow smiles. Close your eyes for just a moment, Leo. Place a hand on your heart and ask your soul with radical honesty, are you holding on to a place where the admiration left long ago simply because it is familiar? Are you waiting for an invitation to stay from people who have already locked the door from the inside and turned off the lights? If the answer is yes, then it is time to stand tall. Not to walk out in defeat, but to reclaim your sacred space and declare with your entire being, I am here. I belong here. And I do not need your approval to shine. No one can cast you out of your own kingdom unless you first believe they have the right to. And do you know what? This painful rejection is actually your greatest awakening. It is the cosmic bell ringing for your soul to wake up and see the invisible blueprint of manipulation that has been shaping the energy around you. It teaches you something that deeply kind, generous, and powerful souls often forget. Kindness does not mean letting others quietly walk you out of your own life. Generosity does not mean allowing others to steal your crown. So what can you do when this darkness begins to pull the very ground from beneath your throne? In our next part, I will show you how the universe is quietly summoning sacred forces, a celestial pride to keep you standing, and how you can reclaim your spiritual power, not with rage, but with the full, undeniable, brilliant presence of your magnificent light. And if this part has shaken something loose within you, write it down. Have you ever felt like you were being pushed out without anyone saying a single word? Share it in the comments. Write it down as a sacred act of restoring the presence your soul unconsciously surrendered. My dear Leo, there are things our eyes can never see, but that our soul feels as clearly and as powerfully as the sun's warmth upon our skin. Have you ever had a moment where you felt like the entire world was turning its back on you, and yet somehow something unseen and powerful held you steady through it all? That was not an illusion. That was real. That was sacred protection operating in the silence, as quiet as the breath of the cosmos, but more powerful than any cowardly scheme humans could ever devise. When you felt the most alone, standing on that cold, empty stage. That was when the heavens were looking upon you the closest. When you felt empty, broken, with absolutely nothing to hold on to, that was when a hand from the divine, from the very source of all light, gently touched your soul and whispered, "Do not move, I am with you." They, the ones who wanted you gone, they believed they were winning. They mistook your regal silence for surrender and your profound generosity for weakness. But they didn't know. They had no idea that they were actually pushing you straight into the loving, fiery arms of a force that no manipulation can ever reach. A sacred space where the most brilliant light always rises from the deepest shadows. This, my dear Leo, is your true home. This is the realm of the Phoenix, the kingdom of the sun. In that sacred space, you are surrounded not by their petty judgments or their hollow justifications, but by the powerful presence of the ones who came before you. Your ancestors, your celestial pride, who are still roaring for you from places no one on this earthly plane can see. There are prayers of courage and sovereignty that were spoken for you hundreds of years ago that are still alive and vibrating in your very bloodstream. There are seeds of immense light and power that were planted in your soul lifetimes ago, seeds that have never withered. And so now, on the very stage they wish to claim from you, you are the one left standing, completely untouched, because you don't belong there by mere human presence, but by a divine promise, by destiny, by light. They may call upon the shadows. They may whisper their poison behind your back. They may join hands to form what seems like an unbreakable circle of exclusion. But they forget one fundamental, immutable cosmic law: darkness can never ever defeat the light, especially when that light is the sun itself. Especially when that light chooses to remain still, centered and sovereign in its own power. In the Buddhist teachings, there is a phrase that is like a door opening in the middle of a raging storm. Where the mind is unmoved, that place is untouched. And in the Bible, Psalm 91 promises, "Whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty." Leo, you do not have to scream to prove you have been wronged. You do not have to fight back with their own petty weapons to show you were cast aside. You only need to remain still, like a powerful regal lion, surrounded by an invisible army, needing no weapon but the unwavering brilliant truth of your own being. Your enemy cannot see this. They cannot see the layers of brilliant golden light that are radiating from your aura. They cannot hear the whispers of guidance your ancestors are sending from above. They cannot understand why you haven't fallen, why you are still smiling, why you are still walking with your head held high, even when they did everything in their power to make you feel invisible and small. But in the very moment they tried to push you away, you were actually being initiated. You were being elevated to a place that is higher, deeper, and brighter. You are being covered by a kind of divine light that their darkness simply cannot reach. Not because you fought back, but because you stepped into the sacred position of power that was already appointed for you. Do you understand this, my dear Leo? You are the convergence of a sacred and powerful royal bloodline. You carry within you not only the wounds of the present, but the unfulfilled hopes and the untamed power of all the generations of leaders, artists, and kings and queens who came before you. You are the bridge between two worlds, the visible and the unseen. And that makes you forbidden ground, a sacred place that no enemy can ever conquer through lies and manipulation. Anyone who tries to push you out of your sacred space is unknowingly stepping across an invisible cosmic threshold. They are neither bright enough to understand the power they are confronting, nor humble enough to retreat from it. This is no longer a simple battle between people. It is a cosmic clash between light and envy, between a soul that was chosen for greatness and those who never truly knew how to love. So you don't need to fight. You don't need to explain. You don't need to defend. Your very presence in silence, in kindness, and in unwavering light is the strongest declaration that you are divinely protected. Let your heart take this in completely. You are not alone. You are not weak. You are surrounded. You are seen by the one that no one can touch. And that sacred protection is precisely why you cannot be removed, even if the whole world turns away. So what happens if you continue standing still in your light? What unfolds if you refuse to fall, even as someone tries to pull you out of your sacred space? The next part will reveal the deepest prophecy of all, why the very stage they tried to push you from will become the very stage where the universe returns you, but with greater glory, a brighter crown, and more power than ever before. And if this moment is making your heart tremble with recognition, share the moment you knew you were not alone. A sign, a dream, a sudden sense of calm in the middle of a storm. Write it down in the comments like a beautiful hymn from your soul, so the light you carry can harmonize with the light that is watching over you from above. Dear Leo, perhaps you once stood before a closed door, a curtain that had been drawn on you, and you believed that it marked the end of something that once meant the entire world. You may have walked away, not because you wanted to, but because you were made to feel that you were no longer welcome in the spotlight. And in that quiet, painful departure, you carried the heaviest question a powerful soul can ever bear. Where did I go wrong? You replayed every single memory. You examined every word. You even questioned the very radiance of your own soul, just trying to understand why they chose to cast you out, why your light made them so deeply uncomfortable, why you, the one who was the most loyal, the most generous, the most life-giving, became the one who had to leave. But some truths, my dear Leo, are not about you at all. Some doors close, not because you no longer belong, but because the universe needs time to redecorate the room, to build a grander stage for your more radiant and powerful return. They wanted you gone. They wanted you silent. They wanted you to fade away into a distant, forgotten memory. Not because you were wrong, but because your very presence forced them to confront something they were not ready to see within themselves: integrity, light, compassion, and a depth of soul they had long ago abandoned. But light, beautiful Leo never asks for permission to shine. It doesn't compete for space. It simply shows up, and darkness naturally, inevitably recoils. The Buddha once said, "There is no need to compete for position. Light naturally finds where to shine." And in Psalm 23, a divine whisper promises, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies." What does this truly mean for you? It means that the very place they tried to cast you out from, the very stage they tried to clear, is the exact place where the universe will seat you again. Not as someone pathetically begging for a spot, but as a living testimony of loyalty, of a light that can never be extinguished, of a divine justice that is born from the quiet, regal strength of your soul. Have you ever seen a vibrant golden sunflower grow in a place that was long deemed barren and dark? You are that sunflower. You are the life that is rising from the soil they thought had run dry. You are the magnificent poem that no one expected being written again from the torn pages that others had carelessly thrown away. You do not need to speak a single word to prove your worth. Your calm, steady, powerful presence is already a bold and undeniable declaration of your sovereignty. You don't need to retaliate with their petty words. You respond by surviving, by thriving, by continuing to be kind, by continuing to love, and by continuing to show up with a heart that is wide open, yet can never ever be broken. And then one day, not far from now, those who once chose to cast you out will have no choice but to witness you. They will see you standing in that very same space, but with double the light, with double the resolve, and with a sacred fiery protection they will never be able to understand, because they thought they were pushing you away, but in truth, they were unknowingly rearranging the entire stage so that the universe could place you at the very center, under a brighter spotlight, exactly where you have always belonged. Because you don't live by the noise and the approval of others. You live by the sacred call of light. You move with the powerful frequency of your own soul, completely unaffected by the fleeting, fickle approval of human voices. Never, ever mistake the universe's silence for abandonment. It is the sacred moment when a brand new chapter, a new act in your magnificent play is being written for you, not with ink that they can smear, but with a divine light they can never cover. That silence is the time the cosmos uses to prepare your triumphant return, not as who you were, but as a sanctified, empowered phoenix version of who you truly are. Take a deep breath in this moment, Leo. Listen deeply within your heart. Can you hear it, that quiet, powerful voice from someplace far away, yet achingly familiar, whispering, "This is where I belong. No one can ever take that from me." And if you are still here, still listening to these words, still present in this sacred pause, then I know that you have walked through the deepest darkness without ever extinguishing your own inner flame. You survived their silent plan of exclusion, not by resisting, but by loving, by having faith, and by embodying a presence that simply cannot be denied. Thank you. Thank you, my gentle, enduring, and powerful Leo soul, for staying through it all. Not everyone is deep enough to grasp the layers of meaning that hide beneath silence. Not everyone is strong enough to endure rejection and still carry their light completely intact. But you are different. You are royal. And if you are hearing this final message, then I know you have truly finally awakened. May you always be sheltered in the sacred space of your own magnificent soul, a fortress of light where no one can ever trespass and where your inner sun is never ever extinguished. You are not cast out, my dear friend. You are being led to your true throne. You are being led home. We have reached the end of our journey together. For today, my magnificent Leo friends, I want you to pause and truly acknowledge the significance of this message, the power of this moment. This has been a profound activation of your soul's highest, most radiant purpose. Embrace it fully. Allow yourself to surrender to the magic of your own transformation. This is your time to shine your brightest, to share your incredible, heart-centered gifts with the world, and to live the life of joy, recognition, and love. You were always destined to live. I would love to hear from you. What part of this message resonated most deeply with your soul? What truth has been awakened within you today? Share your thoughts, your insights, and your feelings in the comments section below. By sharing our stories and supporting one another, we amplify our collective healing and growth. Let's create a sanctuary of transformation, a pride of lions, right here. And of course, if you have not already done so, please remember to subscribe to Cosmic Wisdom to stay connected for all the unique guidance we will be sharing in the weeks to come. We have so much more to explore together. Thank you for being here with me today. Thank you for allowing me to be a small part of your magnificent journey. It has been a true gift to share this sacred space with you. I wish you an abundance of joy, a profound sense of peace, and the unwavering success that you so richly deserve. Remember, you are the creator of your reality. You are the phoenix. You are the sun. And you are fully capable of achieving all of your wildest, most beautiful dreams. Go forth and be brilliant.